The advice to my younger self would be to stay connected, no matter what, to your Judaism, and just find the community and stay with it. I grew up in Baltimore. It was predominantly all Jewish families in the neighborhood. There was a synagogue that was about a mile away from our house. I went to Orthodox Sunday school. I took off of all the Jewish holidays. It was just a great childhood. My favorite Jewish memory was going over to my Bubby Lena's, who was my great-grandmother, for Friday night. When I saw my Bubby Lena light her candles, she stood there with her eyes closed and sang the blessing with her hands over the lights. And then she pulled the lights to her and said the blessing. It didn't affect me so much as a child until I grew up and became a mother myself and a wife myself. That's when I remembered the importance and the tradition. When my whole family's around me on the holidays and on Shabbat, I feel in love. The best advice I have is to stay close to family, and family comes first. When I became a mom, I was over the moon, ecstatic. I just wanted to give, and give. I looked at my newborn and I just fell in love. I didn't raise my family to be religious. I raised my family to, go to Hebrew school and learn all about the Jewish holidays and our tradition. It was hard for me without a lot of support, had the continuum of Jewish life with my family. There was a time where I lost a lot of the connection. Yes, I grew up in Baltimore in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood, but 11 years later, we moved out to the suburbs of Baltimore, and I felt a lot of anti-Semitism for the first time. It was hard for me to connect as a Jew. Moving to this area and not having the community that we had, I never voiced my concerns about it. I feel like I lost my voice and what was important to me. And it wasn't until I was married that I got it back, actually. And going to Israel brought back that connection for me. The first trip to Israel, it immediately reminded me of my feelings on how I grew up. It took me back to that neighborhood that I grew up in and the connection that I have to Jewish people. And that made me feel like I was home again. I wanted to pass on what I had received on my first trip to Israel especially. And not only that, but to help other women find themselves and reconnect as I did earlier in life than I had. If I had gone on Momentum as a younger self, my life would be totally different. So when Lori Palatnik came to me and told me about her idea, I was all on board. I had access to a jet, and it only had 8 seats on it. So she hand-selected 8 women, and we flew out to Utah. And it was great. We were all bonding on the plane. We didn't know each other, and the plane was filled with notebooks and markers and sticky notes. We just started brainstorming about what we wanted to do, how we were going to create a movement and change the world. We were just, started out with 300 women, and we had no idea this was going to take off like this. I see what we've done, and I can't believe it. I am proud of how we have reached out to so many women and to so many countries and to so many cities here in America. That's what I'm most proud of. Momentum showed me that I could help another woman find herself. If I found a woman that was on Momentum and she felt she didn't have a voice, I would say to her, you have a voice, you are good, you're strong, you're smart, and you can do anything you want, and you can say anything you want and be anything you want, and just do it.